Kinogaki is very intuitive to use, once you get grasp of a few main ideas. Think of it as a creative tool that lets you build vector graphics through interconnected nodes, each performing a specific operation. Every single node makes something really simple and unique, but when you connect them together, they can do something complex. Where Kinogaki shines is generative art, especially if you want to use a pen plotter. This means most nodes work on points, lines, or colors. There are no filled shapes, no gradients, no textures, but you can achieve all of those effects using only lines and points, just like you would with a pen and paper. Once you have lines, you can generate an SVG file and use it with a pen plotter. Different colors and line thicknesses are separated into different layers to make it easier to run plotter programs. Now let's get into the interface. The main window is made up of 3 panels: the node editor, attribute editor, and a viewport. There's a menu bar at the top of the window, and you can press Tab to summon a command palette. The node editor allows you to connect nodes together to describe what you want to do. It can be powerful and expressive. I suggest starting small and just have fun with it. To make a node, right-click on the canvas and find something you're interested in. I suggest starting with a simple node, like a point grid. If you look closely at a node, you can see that it has an input slot at the top of the node and an output. Most nodes have one input and one output, but some have more. A canvas node that is already there when you start is a node that only has an output. It's a node that creates a canvas on which you draw. You connect nodes by dragging the output of one node to the input of another, like this. Each node has a small area on the left and right side that you can click. The right side marks the node to be an output. Only one node can be an output at a time, and it's the node that will produce the result you see in the viewport. If you have a node selected when you summon the command palette, newly created node will automatically connect. Let's add another one, the connect node, and let's make it the output. Nothing changed because we must adjust some parameters in the attribute editor first. The attribute editor is where you tweak properties of each node. For example, point grid has a property called spacing, which controls the distance between points on the grid. You can type in a number and see the effect immediately. You can also use a mouse wheel to change the value. Let's change the radius of the connect node to 30 and see lines appear between the points. We can also select point grid and decrease spacing between the points to show the lines. This shows the nature of node-based way of creating art. You can go change parameters of any node upstream and see how it affects the output of every other node. Now let's look at the viewport. You can zoom in and out with a mouse wheel, or by holding Z and pressing left mouse button. You can also hit F to have the canvas fit into the viewport. You can hide and show points and lines, or get rid of a grid. You can also set the default color and line thickness, which other nodes can use when they're created. We'll skip over other parts of the viewport for now. Let's get back to nodes. As you remember, this area on the right allows you to see the results in the viewport. Left side, on the other hand, makes the node either active or inactive. Inactive nodes don't do anything except pass information through. Let's add another point grid. Connect it between the canvas and another point grid like this. Tweak a few parameters. You can see an interplay of different nodes together the more your tree grows. When you've built a complex tree and want to see what it would have looked like if the node wasn't there, simply click on the left side of the node. When it's yellow, it's inactive. This is pretty much about it for the intro. We'll explore more features and nodes and creative ways to combine them. But for now, go and have some fun with Kinogaki.